Hello, I'm Mrs. Melanin.
And I'm Beleaf Mel.
And we're here with episode 55 of
How Married Are You? All right.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first time joining us, we are the Henrys.
Yeah, we're the Henry family. Well, actually, this is Yvette. I'm Glen. And we do this podcast. It's called How Married Are You? And on here we talk all things relationship. We really give that authentic look into marriage because sometimes it's not like, are you married? It's like, how married? You know, like exactly how married are you? What are you willing to do? And sometimes one of us is more married than the other. Mm-hmm. And we started doing this about a year and a half ago. We are 55 episodes in, and this all started from a YouTube channel called Beleaf in Fatherhood, which is kind of like, I guess, a sister channel to this, where we just kind of discuss, well, I show the real life look at fatherhood and what I'm struggling with, what I'm doing well in, what I'm not doing well in, and all the things. So, yeah. Right? Did I cover everything?
He covered everything. We have, did you say how many kids we have?
Oh, yeah. No.
We have 4 kids, ages 6, 5, 2, and 4 months. And we've been married 9 years. I think that's the only thing you left out.
Yep.
And we live in sunny California.
Yep.
Yes.
But we're not next to the fires. Right now, there's a bunch of fires everywhere.
Yeah, I know.
People are hitting us up like, hey, are you dead? You know, like, and I don't text back, and so they get scared, and, you know, it's a whole thing.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I didn't even know we were on fire again.
My goodness. We're on big fire. This is like...
I know.
Yeah.
Someone DM'd me, and then I was like, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't know we were on fire, so let me go look at the news.
Yeah.
Because we don't have cable, I feel like, you know, we miss a lot of stuff. I don't know. Maybe I don't.
I don't miss it.
Glenn's on Twitter and stuff. I'm just on Instagram.
Yeah. All right, so now it's time for...
Chocolate Baby Story Time.
Chocolate Baby Story Time. That's when we talk about, you know, what a funny story or interesting story from one of our kids. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's Chocolate Baby Story Time. You want to go?
Sure. So, lately I've been realizing what a good big brother Theo is.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I already knew that, but the other day... I know we're in California, y'all. So the other day we were at the beach in fall. I know. But we went to the beach, and if you follow me on Instagram, you probably already saw the video that I posted. But the kids were being silly, so I just broke out my phone and started recording them. And they were having a dance party and having fun and whatever. And then all of a sudden, Anaya falls into the water. First of all, let me back up a little bit, because when we got to the beach, and I should put clips up of this, but when we first got to the beach, Anaya was literally like running away from the waves. You know how that happens where the
Man,
kids...
it was so funny. I'll throw it in Beleaf in Fatherhood.
Okay, when the kids when they when they first get accustomed to the beach, they're like, oh, the ocean, like cool, and then they start running towards it. But then the waves come, and then they start running away from the waves. I feel like all of our children have gone through that phase.
Yeah, it's like, am I faster than the water?
Yeah. But
Anaya was running for dear life.
It was really funny and cute. But she's running away from the waves. But Theo, eventually gets her to come in. Like, he grabs her hand, he's holding her hand, and she's bringing her in. He's showing her how to, jump over the waves as they crash against the shore. He's bringing her further and further in, and she's getting more and more confident, to the point that they're having a dance party in the middle of the daggone ocean. And so I'm recording this, and then they get a little whatever, and Anaya trips. And Theo acts so quick, I didn't even have to stop recording or drop my phone in the ocean or anything. Theo acted so quickly to where he picked her up. And then as more waves came, he put himself in between her and the waves, so that the waves were hitting his back and not really getting her. And I could tell that she just felt so safe and so protected by her brothers. And I don't know. I just really appreciated that about Theo. Even yesterday we went to the park and I was like, okay, guys, because I have Uzi now, you know, so a lot of times I have
Is this another story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want me to save it?
Yeah.
But my story is that Theo is just being a really good big brother.
Well, the best part of that story was you saying, oh my gosh, you saved Anaya. And he goes,
Yeah, that's what big brothers do.
I didn't say that part.
that was the best part.
That was the best part. That's the story. I'm done.
Yeah.
What's your Jacoby story?
Keep asking my iPad.
Okay.
Thank you. No, I'm not going to show anything, but
Oh my goodness.
this is to balance everything out. We were watching The Karate Kid with Jaden Smith
Yes.
and Jackie Chan, right? And it's their first time seeing it. And I don't know if I've actually seen this movie all the way through, but we're watching it, and at the end of the movie, I'm going to ruin it for you. At the end of the movie, like, Jaden Smith is like, he's like getting beat by this like kid, and the kid's like punching him in the leg. And Theo's watching the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Theo's watching the movie the whole time, and he's into it, and then Theo.
It's not funny. Oh my goodness.
He wore all the emotions from the movie and just started screaming and crying. And
oh my goodness. I was like, what is happening?
You were just kind of looking at him, and then he like falls under the couch.
Under the covers.
Under the cushion in the couch, and like puts his head over, and then Raya walks over and goes, "Yep, he's crying." And it was like, what is wrong with you? But it just was like, okay.
It was like me watching This Is Us, y'all.
No,
like,
it was worse
like all
than
of
that.
us watching. I mean, okay, maybe it was worse.
Way worse.
But he really, I don't know, for some reason, he just really empathized with that.
Yeah, but at the same time, I was kind of like, dog, it's not that serious. And it showed like the swing of his emotions and how he could black out. Because sometimes he just blacks out. And so today, I'm going to spend a day doing, a lot of time with Theo, filming him and just, kind of getting a day in the life type style and just maybe trying to see some of the behind the scenes of what's happening. Because, like I do the YouTube videos for, showing like the true authentic story, but also for research for myself because I forget a lot of stuff. And this really helps me like remember and keep track of, okay, am I doing better in this area as a father or not, And I'm really curious to see what the heck is going on with this kid. So yeah, it was very interesting. But anyway.
Yeah. So today is, and now it's time for Words of Affirmation. Yeah. Words of Affirmation is an opportunity for you guys to let us know why you keep coming back and listening to the episode week after week. Let us know what it is that you're getting from the podcast and just how we can further encourage you all, because we are encouraged to know that you guys are even listening. So, you can leave words of affirmation via the Anchor app, which is linked right below in whatever podcast app you're listening to.
In the show notes.
In the show notes. You can just click it and it'll take you to a link in order to leave a voicemail. You can also call us on Google Voice, and that number is 760-335-6643. Again, that's 760-335-6643. And you can also leave us a DM on Instagram. The Instagram app has that feature, and we would love to hear from you.
Yeah, so send a voice message through the DM. That'd be great.
Yes, indeed.
Now we're going to hop into these words of affirmation.
Hey guys, it's Mrs. Melanin here, and for today's Words of Affirmation, I'm actually going to be reading a review from our podcast, and it's from Court by Court. Thank you so much for your review. Here we go. Where do I begin? No, but really, I don't know quite the right words to describe how much I value this couple. They are so transparent, vulnerable, and honest, and at the same time, crazy and hilarious. In a world where some may only show the bright or semi-dark side of marriage and beyond, I'm grateful for this couple who lets us into the intricate twists and turns and hardships of marriage and parenting while also maintaining one's individuality and purpose. There's been some episodes where I really felt like a fly on the wall of a conversation maybe too raw for me to be hearing, but it has only encouraged me to be more intentional about my relationships and ensure I'm around people who are willing to push through and face the hard stuff. Thank you both for being who you are and doing what you do.
Hey guys, Beleaf here from Beleaf in Fatherhood and How Married Are You? And I know you're sitting here like, what is happening to my podcast? But I want to let you know that we finally have our first sponsors for the How Married Are You podcast. And this episode is brought to you by the Bible Study, the easy way to study the Word. Grow deeper in your faith and experience God using the Bible Study by Zach Windahl. I met Zach Windahl a few months back. We sat down over breakfast and he told me all about how the Bible Study was transforming the lives of people who wanted to know more about God and the Word of God. Finally, you can study the Bible without feeling overwhelmed. What's included? A daily and weekly guide that walks you through the Word, growing you as a Christian and transforming your heart and mind in the process. Also, in-depth questions that help you strengthen your relationship with God, yourself, and others. Colorful and engaging pages to draw you in and create excitement for studying the Bible and connecting with God. Now, this is all hearsay for me because I actually gave my only copy away to a friend of ours, but I'm ordering another one today, getting 10% off using the coupon code HMAY for How Married Are You? That's HMAY.
So real quick, we want to thank our sponsors, or our sponsor, for sponsoring this
Whoop, whoop.
this podcast. The brand, the Bible Study, is a really dope Bible study that takes you through like a yearly and a 90-day plan for the youth edition. So go to thebrandsunday.com and pick up your Bible study. And Kanye West just dropped a new album called Jesus is King, and I know some people are being exposed to Christianity for the first time, or really just kind of interested in knowing what it's about because of this thing. And so, I'm not, like Kanye West has a huge influence, and he's not, like, I'm not his people, but he does have a lot of people who possibly could listen to this podcast. So I wanted to give you a cool place to start. So if you want to check out the Bible in the most simplest way, and like a really dope visual, you can just check it out through this study, the Bible Study. So go to thebrandsunday.com. You can get 10% off if you type in the coupon code HMAY. We appreciate the Brand Sunday for the Bible Study for sponsoring this podcast. Shout out to Zach Windahl.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and hop into today's topic.
Okay, so today is Tuesday, y'all, which is hashtag Ask HMAY. Ask How Married Are You?
Ask How Married Are You?
So we have a few, actually. I wanted to go back. This one was sent to us a while ago, and we hadn't responded to it because we didn't feel like we were equipped to respond to it. So we kind of sent it out.
Yeah, we sent it to some friends of ours.
We sent it to some friends of ours who are married and who we felt like would probably have a better perspective on it. And we will put a link to their response in the show notes below.
Yeah.
But I wanted to go ahead and read the question.
Yeah, but here's a snippet. Well, after we read the question, we'll show a snippet of their response. Mm-hmm. So you can go check out their podcast. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to drop it today or tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So let's go ahead and... All
right. Hey, guys. So I was listening to the last podcast, and I remember early on in the podcast when you talked about how Yvette bringing in the income caused the whole marriage to fall out of place. And when you were making the transition from Yvette bringing in the income to Glen bringing in income, it was really awkward. I just want to say that that's not accurate.
No, that's not true.
That would not be...
Yeah, it wasn't that Yvette making the money through the marriage out of places because I let Yvette lead. Mm-hmm. Which is two different things. She can make the money. I don't care.
Yes. I'm 18 years old and female, and I really want to be a creative full time, but I'm kind of freaked out because I want to get married one day, and I'm kind of scared of how me bringing in income and being a creative will affect the marriage. I want a family one day, but I'm freaked out about how this will affect my family. I know it's a little early to be thinking about this, but when I see you guys, it makes me nervous. So any advice on how being a female creative affects the marriage would be very helpful. I'm sorry we make you nervous.
Yeah, I mean,
Don't be nervous.
I think one thing to be reminded of is like fear is not your friend. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't keep you safe. And I think that it's a little premature. You know, the cool thing about any creative person right now that is not married is that like right now is the time to risk it all. Give it your all. Do the things. Stay up late. You know, network. Be in the know. Like refine your craft and like risk it all, because when you have a family to take after, you know, either you'll feel separated from your art, or your spouse will think that you're not giving your all to the marriage, and you're willing to risk it all on your creative. You know what I mean? And so, right? Would you say
Yeah,
that's
no,
true?
I agree. I've heard it said that motherhood can be the greatest identity thief for a woman. And so I feel like you're still young, you're not married, and you don't have any kids. And I say just go for it. Like, be the creative now. Make all the mistakes now. And just do your thing so that you can kind of you can have a little bit more of a foundation in who you are and what makes you happy. And then, of course, as the future brings about a husband and children, you'll have to navigate through what that looks like in that season. But I say go for it now. Don't be nervous. Just be you, boo.
Yeah, and also don't like set yourself up to like, yeah, I'm gonna try to be a creative when I have a husband, so
Yeah.
he can bear the brunt of the finances and I can just be in this creative space with safety and security. Like create your safety and security now.
Yeah.
You know, secure yourself. Secure the bag, secure yourself. Protect your genius. Ooh,
Yes.
all right. I'll just go ahead and link that up right there. Protect your genius. All right.
Yeah, and we'll link. So our friend,
Halise and Chris,
yes, from the
Beastcast.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's start that part over.
No, we're good.
Okay.
The Beastcast podcast.
So our friends from the Beastcast podcast, the wife is a creative and her husband
Is a nurse.
And so they definitely can speak about that experience more practically as they're living it out.
So listen to this snippet right now.
We talked it over during breakfast.
We did. My major takeaway, I can't really necessarily give you, young lady, advice, but what I can do is ask you a series of questions in return for you to meditate on. And the first question I'm going to ask you is, why are you so worried about a relationship you haven't even started yet at all? I think if you want to be a full-time creative, then be that and work on yourself. Focus on making yourself the best version of yourself that you can be. So that way, when the right person hopefully approaches you, you are confident in who you are and you are confident in what you know you can offer that relationship. And then you go from there.
And be sure to check out the full episode, which we will link down below in the show notes.
Boom.
All right. We got a voicemail. Someone wasn't shy. So we're going to go ahead and play that and then we will respond.
My boyfriend and I have been dating for going on 4 years now, essentially my entire college career. Being college students at different universities, we have been long distance throughout the duration of most of our relationship, and we're choosing to wait until have sex until marriage, and we're still very much so committed to the journey, even though it's proven to become more and more difficult along the way. We're super tight and have a really strong friendship and very strong compatibility. We're confident that we are God's choice for one another in marriage, and have both agreed that being married within the next 2 years is realistically on the horizon. Well, I know that he's serious about proposing within that time frame, and he's working on ways to ensure our financial stability once we approach that season. Lately, I felt like this strong desire to get married sooner than that, so we can begin our lives together in the same geographic place after my current year of school and going into the start of my career.
Congratulations on
so
finishing
over
school
long
soon
distance, and he shared that he is
all of that fun.
Do y'all have
So they're
anything
not engaged yet.
They're not
Thank you, and
engaged
God
yet.
bless.
But she's
They're-
over long distance. She's like, I want to be around him.
Yes, and she
smelled
wants
good.
to be engaged and married and moving forward.
Yeah.
Yes. He smells good? What?
I mean, like, you know.
Okay.
I don't care. She just sniffed me. Everyone who's listening. Yeah, so I don't know, advice on their next steps. I just think patience, like, you're not going to hate yourself for being patient and finishing school and doing, like, things on time.
Which she plans on doing. She's talking about she's going to be finishing school soon.
Oh, so she's like, well, what is, you know, like, what is the next step? I think that they should get married. Like, ASAP.
I know, Glenn is that guy.
Yeah, I think, you know.
I mean, I finished school and we got married and, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think there's a real, like, reason to wait for marriage. Especially if you notice the person you want to be with or the person you're willing to, you know, work the hardest for and try the hardest for. I don't think that's necessary. I think that you can really, you know, because you're going to be able to accomplish more as a couple than you are apart. And some people think they have to kind of get their life together. I think even if you were in school and we got married, you would have
Freaked all the way out.
What? Why would you have freaked all the way out?
Babe, how are we going to make money? Who's going to pay the rent? What's happening?
Yeah, true.
You were making $500 a month. I was making $0.
But I could have got a real job.
I mean, I guess I had the Math for America money.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, if you're together, it's going to be easier.
How so?
Because, like, you're going to be able to work to, like, okay, so, like a team, like you're a team. You know what I mean? Like, one person's studying, another person's cooking dinner. You know? No?
I don't know.
Yeah, your life was kind of groovy before you got married.
What do you mean?
Like, you were in the gym at like 4 a.m. and then off to school. You were like really on top of everything. Actually, never mind. Just wait. Just wait, guys. It's no rush. It's no rush.
No, I was living a good life.
Yeah, getting a job is going to be really important. So get a job and then get married. That's my advice.
Really? What? You just changed up your whole...
I just changed my whole... Because I remember, like, your life. And I was like, man, this girl's got it going on.
I just had a rhythm, man. I had a rhythm.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that you messed up my rhythm or interrupted it. I think I allowed that to happen. I got distracted.
By me?
By your smell.
I didn't think you got... I mean, like, I think everything for you changed at once.
Yeah, it was a lot. And that's just how my life is.
It's like everything... Okay, you move from...
I moved out of the dorms back into my parents' house. I started...
a job.
I started my credentialing program. I didn't meet Glenn, but I started dating Glenn. Glenn waited 9 months and then proposed.
Gosh.
And then, like, I finished school while we were engaged. I finished my teaching credential while we were engaged. We got married, and I started my first year of teaching. It was just a lot. And I was married.
And I was church.
And I changed churches.
Which is the church you were with your whole life.
My whole, what is it called? My whole roots was just uprooted and planted somewhere else in Glen's beauty.
And so understand that I think that what's important to know is that, you know, when you do get married, things are going to change a lot because so much of your life is going to be different and you're going to have to adjust.
And a lot of the things that you think you knew or know about a person are not necessarily the things you know. It all changes once you get married. I literally was just hanging out with someone and I was talking to them about that and they're like, yeah, I learned a lot about herself and about her husband.
I think you learn more about yourself.
Yeah, you definitely learn a lot about yourself.
Because you start to realize that some of the things that you do are, you know, by habit and they're not necessarily best practice. But it's always been, this is who I am. And so now you kind of got to change who you are to fit someone else in your space. That's a lot. Let's see if we can knock out another one.
Yes. All right, so this next email I'm going to get into right now. I wanted to start by... Sorry.
Are you editing this podcast? Yvette edited the podcast last week, guys.
Why are you telling folks?
Because I wanted to know it wasn't me.
Will you guys let me know how it went, though? Because every time I edit the podcast, there's always a complaint about sound. And I didn't see one, so I'm assuming I did all right. Anyways.
Yeah. And we put out the episode without, like, for 45 minutes missing. Or it was only 45 minutes, and it was 15 minutes
if you listen to it.
Yeah, if you listen to it early.
If you were listening to it early.
It was kind of off. But let's...
Why are you going to point out my flaws for? Okay, that is a good segue into this email.
Okay.
I wanted to start, and I'm going to start with affirmations. I usually skip this, but I need some affirming right now. I wanted to start by saying how much gratitude I have for Beleaf in Fatherhood and the How Married Are You podcast, as it lights up the creative in me. I've been following Beleaf in Fatherhood since the beginning, and I'm finally a Patreon. Woo woo!
Yay!
Thank you. I promise I'll be moving up in tears with that. LOL.
We're going to move up in tears. We appreciate what you give.
Yeah, whatever you can afford. It has been a blessing to see how God is moving in your lives, and you deserve it. Anyway, y'all have been encouraging me to jumpstart projects that I've been wanting to work on, along with pushing myself to be a better partner in my relationship. Amen. Thank you for that. I'm 24 and currently in one of the healthiest relationships I've ever been in. Just for a brief background of who we are. We're a young, educated Black couple living in Philadelphia area who are doing pretty well in our careers. We do not live together. We both grew up in a Christian household, and it's fairly new, and it's a fairly new relationship. We had our first big argument a few months back, and everything about it was just super unhealthy, and I was really disappointed in the way we handled it. We were able to move past this, but after this argument, I realized I have absolutely no guideline for arguing in a healthy way in a relationship. My email is concerning arguing. People always want to tell you the details of what the fight was about, but no healthy ways to resolve it. Arguing is an inevitable part of a relationship, and personalities can dictate what is effective for one couple over another. But I feel like because I didn't grow up around healthy communication, and I'm in the dark when it comes to managing disagreements as effectively as I could be. Sometimes it's not until you're with someone else until you realize how dysfunctional you can be concerning different situations. I'm finding that arguing with your significant other is a learning process, but how do you best deal with arguing as a couple? Does it depend on the weight of the argument, compromise, space? Looking forward to advice and tips. Thanks so much. Keeping it real. Thanks for always keeping it real. Love y'all. Your mic is muted.
Yeah. I feel like this has a lot to do with personalities, and I don't necessarily think we argue that well. I just think like our personalities in arguing match a lot, because where I'm very expressive and vocally, you know, you have to listen because you don't have anything to say. And I'm throwing like 4 or 5 analogies at you, and you're like trying to understand, and then you're like, I got it. Or sometimes you're like, I don't get it. And then, but when you got it, you got it. Mm-hmm. And then you're able to kind of talk your way out of it, but you need to write.
Mm-hmm. I need time to process. Glen processes via talking it out, I feel like.
Yeah, but the whole thing is like, because I'm naturally a grudge holder. Mm. And this is not a good thing. But like I hold stuff in, I'm processing the whole time. So before I've actually came to you, I've said what I had to say to you very, rudely in my head. You know what I'm saying? Like I've said like so many times, like, like I'm just over this. You know what I mean? But by the time I get to you, I have like 4 or 5 analogies to say, okay, this is what it's like. Get that, cool, this, get that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So yeah.
For me, I feel like what has helped is understanding and Glen constantly affirming that we are on the same team. I think if you have that foundational knowledge and understanding, then it's helpful when you're arguing. Like in the moment, in the heat of the argument, you're probably like, ugh, whatever, like you're frustrated, you don't understand, you don't like the person, whatever. But I think all in all, if you understand that you both are on the same team, then you can get through the necessary conversation or argument, whatever you want to call it, that may be challenging. Advices on arguing.
I mean, it's practical things like give each other time to speak, listen without trying to get over on the next, like instead of thinking about what you're going to say next, like just listen instead of like preparing yourself in the batter's box, like, man, it's okay. Like, I think people say, don't let the sun go down on your anger and forgive before you go to sleep. But sometimes, like, no, I'm not talking about this. I'm over it, and it's okay to like it's okay to be upset. Like, we got to stop like, like making people feel bad because they're angry or they're feeling a certain way about something. Now, how you express that anger is different. I think a lot of our issues have like a lot to do with like, and this is why earlier in the conversation it was like the reason why our relationship wasn't as healthy is because I let you lead. And so now you giving over leadership is an issue for you, right? Not to say like I'm not trying to pick a fight. I'm just saying that like
me giving over leadership is an issue. Continue. Elaborate.
All right, so like some of the issues are that like I don't agree with this and we're not gonna do it. And you're like, well, I am the one doing it. So I need to be like, no, like we're gonna wait.
What?
Yeah.
Give an example.
Diapers. When I give you an example, you get mad.
Because it brings up all the old emotions.
But in that situation, it was like, no, I have control here. Or like maybe I'm losing control. This is one of the few things that I have control over. Why are you going to like control? And I'm like, wait, we're on the same team. Yeah. But I think most of it is like decision making. Like we don't agree on the decision. That's the argument, right? Or can you think of something else we argue about?
A lot of things that upset me are things where I lack control. Like where it's like, it's not where I lack control, it's where I want to control it. And
you're used to controlling it.
I'm used to controlling it. I feel like I should be able to control it.
Which is why I said
yes.
Because if I had it in the beginning,
yeah,
it probably wouldn't have been. It's not an issue now.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So the most time we argue, and it's like, so our arguments stem from, like Yvette not feeling like she's. I think I understand you. I'm just kind of like, You know what I mean? Like, I don't agree. And then we just don't agree. And so we're at this, like, crossroads, which is super awkward. And it's like either one of us is going to have to bow down. You know what I mean? And
see, and that's her thing. It's like, is there a compromise? And I don't think that one of us has to bow down. I feel like once each person has made their point and it's been fully understood, then we can kind of meet in the middle if that's possible. Sometimes you're not going to be able to meet in the middle. Sometimes you're going to have to go all the way to the left or all the way to the right. But there are opportunities to compromise.
And like for now, it's like our arguments from me, like when I'm mostly wrong, are, it's not that I don't understand you, it's that I'm not brave enough to make the decision for the solution, like a nanny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's a lack of like bravery on my side. It's like courage. Like I lack courage. And yeah, and I think that how we argue is just different. Like sometimes like you've surprised me and like you like are like unwilling to back down and you'll yell back. It's really rare, but it's happened more as you're losing control and you're falling into the sunken place of marriage. You're falling into the sunken place of submission. And you're like, I will be heard and know. And I am woman. Hear me roar, you know? And I'm kind of like, yeah. And yeah, I think we don't, I don't know. Like, I think we've dealt with some issues that have been, we were surprised by how we reacted. I'm actually, yeah, I don't know. And I don't let it go. I'll keep, it's like this.
Receipts, y'all know.
It's like this.
The wedding
It's like
party
this.
already knows about you and your receipts. I will say this, like, I feel like as far as this is concerned, and I don't know if this is really answering your question. Please let us know if we aren't fully answering it. But I feel like one of the things that I will say about myself is that sometimes something that could be an argument, I don't let it become an argument. Like, I really try to, like, think about it inside my head. Because there are opportunities for me to, like, bring stuff up that are, like, you know, what some might call petty. But for me, they're real, like, it's really bothersome. But I'm like, okay, Yvette, is this a you issue or is this a him and you issue? Like, is this something that really needs to be dealt with the two of you? And I feel like, and it causes me not to, like, I don't know, people might start commenting in the section below, but it kind of sometimes gives me, like, anxiety. Like, there are certain things that, like, really just, like, if he could just get this, but then at the same time, it's like, this is really your issue. Like, this is something that you can just cope with.
That don't sound healthy at all.
It doesn't sound healthy?
I mean, what do you mean by cope?
Like, deal with. Just deal. You know? Because some, like, honestly, the things that irritate me, it's very concerning.
It's concerning that it bothers you, or is it concerning because it's like, this is a red flag in our life, in our relationship? Or is it just kind of like, is it really that serious?
Is it really that serious?
Oh, okay, I need an example.
I don't know, babe. I don't know if you want an example. I don't want to start anything.
Okay, well, that's wisdom on your part.
Yeah.
And it's wisdom on my part for letting it go.
Yeah.
See?
Thank you.
See, I pat myself on the back.
Yeah, so let me read the question again just to make sure we've addressed it. I'm finding that arguing with your significant other is a learning process. Yes, indeed. But how do you best deal with arguing as a couple? Does it depend on the weight of the argument, compromise, space? Looking forward to your advice tips. So I definitely agree with what Glen said about allowing yourself space. Like, if someone in the relationship is asking, like, hey, can we just pause and can we come back and talk about this later? Then I think that it's okay to allow that space. However, don't let them, like, not come back to it, because I know that I will do that. Like, we'll be like, hey, let's pause this conversation, and then I'll be over it. Or I won't really be over it, but I don't want to talk about it anymore. And so sometimes things do need to be fully addressed. No?
Yeah, I mean, that's definite. And I also think that you're really supposed to be bad at this. This is your first argument in your relationship, and you guys are a fairly new couple who have, you know, it's seemingly all together, and you're realizing that you don't, because this issue is so huge for you. And I want to tell you that, like, it's a good thing that you guys are having arguments. It means that you both care. It means that you guys are both passionate about something. And I think the worst part would be for you to be indifferent, and one of you to be like, well, I'm just happy wife, happy life. Or like, you know, like, I'm just going to just give him what he wants because I don't, you know, because I'm confrontational, you know. So I think this is a good thing, and you're supposed to be bad at it. I think, you know, to practice, well, somebody has to be the cool head. And I think once you guys realize, like, and get understanding how to spar, so to speak, with each other, you'll be able to understand, like, actually, I can't go on with this conversation right now because I realize I'm losing it. So
Yeah.
And this is just a whole thing, right? I just want to say this. If a man is trying to leave out of a home, just let him go. Like, if he's trying to, like, walk out because he's trying to, like, control himself, just let him go. No need to, like, touch him or try to make him stay or get in front of him or block him from leaving the house. It's the same thing for a woman, too. Sometimes you just need a break and just need to be able to walk away.
Note to self.
Yeah.
Without a child.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think you guys have to figure out how to communicate. You have to figure out how, what you receive best in an argument. And, what you're willing to put on the line, in this. Are you willing to risk your relationship for this whole situation, or are you just upset at the moment, 'Cause sometimes you just need time. So all those things matter, the weight of their argument, compromise, space, but really just learning each other. We really can't give you advice to deal with this situation that well, because one, we don't know the issue, and two, we don't know you. You know what I mean? And so the cool thing is that you know the situation, relationship, and you do know your significant other. And so as you're getting to know him, you're going to try to figure out what him or her, what works best and what doesn't work. And he's going to know you as well. One thing, it's really good to remind each other that you guys are on the same team. You guys are going in the same direction. You just disagree on the play. You disagree how you accomplish a certain task. Our biggest argument when we first got together was, what church are we going to attend? And this is something that was like a sore spot for Yvette, because she's never even had to think about leaving her church. And I just was like, well, I understand. So, and yeah, I didn't think it was right for us to go to different churches. And so she was just like, no, I'm not doing that. And it was one of the things where you didn't want to leave.
I didn't necessarily want to leave my church, but I didn't necessarily want to go to your church. So my thought was, why can't we try to find a new church that we both wanted to go to?
Which sounds right in theory.
My brother come down here without asking.
So
and what are you doing? Where are you?
Downstairs.
Okay.
Go. It's not 7:30. You guys still have 5 minutes. Go back.
All right.
Lord have mercy.
Babe, how married are you?
I'm so married that I have children. 4 of them.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Does that count? I'm so married that yesterday, on Sunday night, Glen did some meal prepping, which I'm really proud of him for doing. He stayed up late to do it. And this is like one of the things that I could...
Oh, you could let go. You couldn't let go.
No, I did let it go. But I just I watched him meal prep and I was like, man, that's great that he's doing that. But the way he was doing it, it was like, oh, I could have done this a little bit more concise. And I could have helped him, but I was just so exhausted. Anyways, he did it such that the kitchen was a mess.
It was it was like a science project. Like half a chicken over there.
Oh my goodness, it was so messy. And so I saw it happening and I was just like, I'm going to bed. So I went to bed. And then when I woke up, he had fallen asleep on the couch. And it looked like he had tried to clean the kitchen, but he didn't fully clean the kitchen. And so I knew he just, in his time lately, he hasn't been able to get into work and get stuff done. So I was like, babe, just go to work. I'll clean the kitchen.
That was very thoughtful.
And so I did that.
Yeah.
So, babe, how married are you?
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah. That was very helpful, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I did need your help.
I know. I'm so sorry.
And I was like, this is the worst. I hate this. And the reason why I wasn't able to do it well is because we went to a party. So wait a minute, I'm not done. So
I didn't say anything. You didn't even tell me how married you are.
All right, but listen, I'm just saying, like, I just want to let you know that I definitely will not be doing that again.
You're not?
No, I'm just saying, like, on a Sunday,
going to a party.
I'm staying home.
Yeah.
And meal prepping.
Yeah.
And fight me if you want to say something about it. Not
telling
you.
me? Oh,
I'm just
I
saying
was like, what the
anybody.
heck?
Hey, can you come over Sunday? We'll all get together. No, it's meal prep day. I'm spending all day cleaning and cooking. Yeah, protect your life, everyone. Yeah, so I'm so married. Ask me again. Come on.
How married are you?
Yeah, so I'm so married that I'm trying. I am trying. I made breakfast Saturday and Sunday.
You did, babe. Thank you.
And I was expecting you to make breakfast at some point. But I realized that when you didn't, that's just going to be what I do. Because I feel like on Sundays and Saturdays, if you want to sleep in, you should do that. So,
Oh, I can sleep in on Saturday and Sunday? I definitely slept in on Sunday. I just was like, I'm not doing life.
yeah. And so, yeah, I made breakfast. And I prepped. I didn't just prep my food. I prepped some food for you, too.
He did. He seasoned this shrimp and everything.
I cut out the poop out of the shrimp and
which I got shrimp that was supposed to be deveined and whatever already, but that was not the case.
Yeah, it was gross.
I'm glad you did that because I probably would have trusted them and been like,
so gross.
all right, and that's just how married we are.